this is Noreen from diycards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up card videos, please click that subscribe button and the little bell after, and you'll be the first to be alerted when my videos come up. So today's card is another lamination one. I promised you 3. So you saw the first one on Sunday. It's Thursday now, and this one's different because if you notice, it's colored. I did not heat emboss this. I laminated it. So that stamp is inside the plastic. So what we're going to be using is Flowering Blooms. We're also going to use the die, the large die from Stitched So Sweetly, and the large outside die from Ornate Layers. So let's get to it. You're going to start out with a 5.5 by 4 1/4 in Highlands Heather. Then you're going to take a piece of the Hydrangea Hill, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, and you're going to cut that 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then on the inside, what I did was Magenta Madness, and I cut that 5.5 by 4 3/16. You cut a little shy just so it can not interfere with the fold. And you're going to go ahead and line these all up the way they look in the card. So I've got them all lined up here. Then I'm going to take the large Stitched So Sweetly, and I'm going to put it in the middle here. I'm going to put a nice piece of tape on that, making sure that everything's edge to edge. And I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine at least like 3 or 4 times. So I'm going to go do that. So I grabbed my cutting plates here, and I just want to show you when I taped these, I put the tape on the inside of the die because I'm not using this part, and if I accidentally rip it, it's no big deal. I also put the smallest amount of tape on the ends to hold these 3 pieces together. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart, and that one will come right off. And this will, let's go ahead and loosen the tape on the ends holding it together. And you can pull this off. We're going to pull this off. This is just scrap. And then you might get one that's not quite cut all the way through. And go ahead and line this up again. It should fit right in. It's no big deal. And run this through one more time. I ran it through once, just lining it up, and it's just fine. So let's pull this out. Now we're going to stamp our image. And like I said, I am using a laminator. So, and what I'm using right now is these little laminating pockets. And they come with a sealed end on one end. That's the end that you put through your machine. So you're going to open this up and hold it down with something. Grab your StazOn, and this is the flower from Flowering Blooms, which is actually really super pretty. And then ink it up really good. Now StazOn dries pretty darn fast, so you want to kind of make this all in one swift move. So kind of get things ready. And I am using a stamping pad. I know you don't have to with these stamps, but I really think they come out better when you use a stamping pad. So I'm going to flip this over really quick and stamp it right there in the middle, like so. And there you go. Now we're going to hold this open like this. So hold something down on top, and we're going to have this sit for about 10 minutes. So in the meantime, I cut a piece of Misty Moonlight, and it's 5.5 by 4 3/16. And then in basic white from Ornate Layers, I cut out the white piece here and snailed them together. And now I'm going to snail them in the card. You can go ahead and finish up the inside. This is the piece of Magenta Madness that was cut from those pieces that we did. And go ahead and snail that up, and then open the card and put it in that hole like so. And then fold this piece on top. And then it opens perfectly to the inside. And then we're going to take Misty Moonlight and the thank you from Flowering Blooms. And we're just going to stamp that about right here. So we'll go ahead and stamp right there. There you go. So here is my laminator. And I've got the A-box one with the nice guillotine cutter on top. This thing's fantastic. So here is the stamp we did. I'm going to try to remove all the doggy hair. In fact, if you want to take one of your anti-static little things to it like you do for embossing. That might be a good idea, especially if you have dogs. Anyway, so I'm going to close this up, trying to remove all doggy DNA. Make sure you put in the closed end first and feed it into your machine like so. Now, this takes a few minutes to heat up, and when it's ready, the green light comes on, so you know it's all ready to go. And we're going to send this through, and then I'm going to trim it because this is going to be a little too big for our card. So I'm going to take the guillotine thing here instead of my nice Stampin' Up cutter and trim it up. So it's going to come out the other side. And there is your totally laminated stamp. Doesn't look like I have to cut much off here, if any. I might go ahead and just leave it. But now is the fun part. We're going to color it. So we're going to take our Stampin' Blends in the dark and light magenta madness and the old olive. I'm going to start out with the light magenta. I am going to use a pointy end just because this is so little. And I'm going to start doing the flowers. Now it will drink in a lot of the ink, but believe it or not, it's not going to smear. So I'm going to fill in all the flowers, and I'll be right back. So here's the light magenta madness. I did put like 2 coats on there. Now I'm going to take the dark, and I'm just going to do all the places where I think it should be dark, you know, on the bottom and in all the little triangle-y kind of areas, anything that has a line. So I'm going to do the dark real quick, and I'll be right back. There's with the dark. Now I'm going to go back again with the light and give it color. The thing about the blending pens is it's more like they're layering pens. The more you layer, the more of the look you're gonna get out of it. The you know, the really blended look is just more layering than anything else. So I'm gonna do the light, and I'll be right back. That's another layer of light, and I'm gonna go in one more time and just give a little bit more to the dark. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves, and instead of using the light, I'm going to just use the dark because there's not a lot of shading you can do on here because it's mostly colored in black. So I'm going to give it like 2 or 3 layers of this dark old olive. Now all you have to do is snail up your card front, take your flower and position it. Now if you need to, go ahead and cut off any of the plastic that might overhang on your card, but we're going to do that. And now I'm going to take some more snail and make sure it's over the plastic here, and we're going to line up our card base from the DS paper, lining up the corners first. So it's going to look like that. Now we're going to do the other side with the other piece that we simultaneously cut off. So make sure you've got the right side going. If it doesn't match up, turn it around, and then snail this up. Looks like that. Now if you have any kind of little overhang here, you can go ahead and just take your scissors and cut it off. But that is the card, and isn't that cool? So you colored through here, and look, it doesn't smear. So if you like this, because I give away the demo card, put a comment in the email, and if you're the first one, I will mail you out the card, or you can email me at Noreen@joyacards.com. Thanks. Bye.